Hello guys, it's Sendou here again. So I wasn't planning on actually making a video about the patch changes, but I was trying stuff out with the patch and I truly believe this is one of the best patches they ever made in Splatoon 1 or Splatoon 2. So I really want to explain my view here, and that's why I'm making this video. So I'm gonna go over the changes and tell why exactly I think they're such good changes and why they are being very smart with this game and they're constantly improving with their changes. But to start with, of course, Rabbit Pro, probably the weapon I have most authority with. I guess everything I say will also apply to Rabbit as well. But I was just trying to shoot these dummies a bit, but honestly, it's very hard for me to notice a change when, shooting at one target here. Of course, in some situations, like people are grouped up and you can get the perfect shot in, shots as you are defending tower, and in those situations, for sure, there might be situations where you are lacking the one crucial shot to get the kill. And I think this will be about the same as Blaster nerf, where they also nerfed the explosion radius. And what happened with the Blaster nerf is actually that at first people didn't really notice the change, but in longer term, especially people who don't main the weapon, were like noticing a lot that they didn't do so well with it anymore. And I think Rabbit will be about the same if I had to guess. That okay, if you have been playing this weapon a lot, like come on, your aim is gonna be good enough to negate the effects of like whatever 6% like explosion radius. But for sure, people who didn't really put so many hours to the weapon, even like killing one moving target now might be more difficult. But yeah, for people who mained it, that shouldn't be a problem, and the problems just come in situation where there's a group of people or you are can't get the perfect angle at people. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. For now, I'm gonna be sticking with this weapon for sure, but just interesting to see how it plays out. Splash out is one of the more interesting changes, I think. Basically, many weapons they gave it a bit of a gimmick to further set it apart from its other weapons in the same class. And with Splash Show, it actually has no difference in spread whether you're jumping or on the ground anymore. So of course, what this does do is that it's also like harder to quickly paint, because people typically when they are painting an area fast, what they do is that they jump and then they can get more RNG, but now jumping does nothing, so you might as well like stand on the ground. But for actual like combat and situation like that, I do think that it's gonna give the weapon a lot more options. Such as like, I made a video about strafing. Well, jumping is one way to strafe, and of course if you are get the same accuracy while jumping, I think this is gonna, especially people who are very used to this weapon, it's gonna give a lot more options. And yeah, if you don't know, normally when you're jumping with shooters you get less accuracy, so that's the trade-off. If you want to be harder to hit, you're gonna be having hard time hitting yourself, but with this weapon apparently it's not gonna be the case anymore. Sploosh has the same thing, but that's Sploosh, so I'm not gonna be talking about that much. So this has, okay, this is one of the most cute changes. Like, it's like the super fat ink tank now, but yeah, you can throw 2 auto bombs from a full tank, so that's now a thing in the game. Yeah, again, like, it's a gimmick to the weapon that no other weapon has, and okay, it's giving it some tools maybe against other weapons, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool that you can do that without having any ink saver at all, and without the bomb you don't need that much ink saver sub to actually be able to throw spat bombs, so that's pretty cool. And I guess you can hold the trigger down for 5 minutes if that's your thing. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, Ink Tank decides how many actions you can do, and especially with sub weapons, you're gonna be able to throw a lot more sub weapons with this thing. But yeah, that's something. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting to see if someone will make Junior work over Ansep, for example. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that, but for now, that's at least an interesting thing. Aerospray, they're still undoing the nerfs. That's pretty funny, but yeah, it paints like something else. Like right now, like it's getting close to the golden days of Aerospray when it was actually meta, and yeah, it paints super fast. But then again, there's more options now, so I don't know how much it will end up affecting the weapon. And yeah, we could definitely look at the splashdown as well. Splashdown buff is something that's gonna probably affect a lot of weapons suddenly. So it's still super easy to shoot down on splashdown, so that's not changed. Like in competitive, splashdown is not a panic button, so to speak. But definitely for think about like splat zones, like if you get the splashdown on a zone, it's like a lot of ink on the zone. Think about something like Humpback, for example. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of ink on the zone suddenly. But yeah, what you still can do is that, okay, I see an enemy, I just panic button splashdown, because good players will just, you know, shoot you down. So that probably still won't be a thing. But yeah, it's there. It's nice that they at least recognize it's a bit underpowered at the moment, and that should definitely give some weapons a bit new life. I'm definitely ignoring some changes I don't think are so significant, or I don't think are so interesting. But yeah, Luna, it feels like it has very little spread now. It's still not like fully accurate, and it still has the RNC spread, but you know, this is what Lunas typically do, they just jump around, and well, we're a bit better at that now, so still probably won't be meta, but you know, it's a step in the right direction, I guess. My suggestion was making it less ink hungry and also making it accurate at the apex with jump, but yeah, this is at least on the right direction with this weapon, I think. Maybe I'll give it a bit of a go after Inkstorm. Which I think is the main thing with the spats, like many of these weapons are like actually interested now, like you feel like actually wanting to try them out and see what you can do with the weapons. And I think that's really what they want to do with these patches. L3, I guess, a bit faster run speed when you're shooting. Yeah, that's gonna make strafing painting a bit easier. I think that's gonna do much. Well, I don't have the audio for this game now, but H3 makes really cool sound now if you hit 3 pellets on a target dealing over 100 damage, so definitely go check that out yourself. It's a pretty nice thing. Personally, I'm a Plaster main, so direct sound is something I like, but this is a completely new sound in the game. Something unique to H3, so, you know, not like, you know, not like it changes the weapon, but it changes the feel. Like, come on, like, directs are amazing, and when you hit like 3 pellets, like, that's not, that should feel good, and I think the sound effect really amplifies that. I think it's a cool idea by the development team. Point sensors also fly a bit faster, I guess. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think that actually does much with the point sensor, but I don't have like a point sensor main, so maybe I don't have the correct understanding with this. Oh yeah, you can apparently also throw them fast, like further, though, so that's more useful instantly. But then again, I felt like you wanted a bit of sub power up with the point sensors anyway, because you can extend the tracking time. But okay, that's a thing. That's a thing. Well, we have missiles. Well, of course, that's like the big change for this patch is missiles, and that's actually the buff that they even had in the official graphic for the patch. Like you had the Inkling using missiles, so definitely for the developers, I guess missiles was something that they were really expecting, you know, or really focusing on the patch to make sure, and they did a lot of changes to missiles. Okay, the big one is of course that when you use one target, it's no longer like a waste. Like, come on, that's pretty annoying if you hit one target, like there's suddenly like 10 missiles all over you. And okay, so basically why missiles are underpowered or were before this patch, of course we're still deciding if it's the case with this patch as well. But the main thing was that, okay, if you're using it on one target or 2 targets, that's basically a waste. And if you're using it on 4 targets, you typically have to do a very accurate positioning that takes a lot of time. Like, for sure, if I can pull this off, like if I can, okay, that's 5 targets, but if it was 4 targets, that's still like super good. But that takes a lot of careful positioning to pull off, and you're wasting time. Like, missiles, one thing they have over the specials is that you can actually move while the missiles are going off. But if you have to be in your own space to get good missiles off them, that's pretty much useless. So in this patch, they make it a bit more reasonable to just use it on 1 target or 2 targets. For example, let's say you kill the front lines, and then you have 2 backline left, Rabbit and Spatling, let's say. Well, now you have missiles. You can definitely, like, if you know what they are, you can get the missiles off and rush them down, and that's still like really annoying for them. I believe there's 5 missiles per person now when you target 2 persons. And in addition, special power up makes the explosion radius bigger, so that's definitely a very big change. And you probably wanna run special saber with missiles now. And yeah, this is probably the biggest change in the patch, of course, and should give a lot of weapons new life. Duelist, minis battling, Ansap 89, Slosser, even this H3, like all of these are getting like a new life with this change. And I'm still gonna have to try it out how it is in scrims and against squid players who like normally don't get hit by missiles, and how it's to be able to coordinate that with your own team. But definitely in the changes make sense to me, and also being able to target Rainmaker shield, you can target up to 5 targets now. So you know, if you're pushing Rainmaker, come on, that's like a lot of missiles going off when you're pushing, so that should not be a bad thing at least. But yeah, definitely missile is one of the bigger changes here. Roller, well, you can roll at full speed and now you take less ink, but that's one of those changes I'm like maybe it's for the 4 only, I can't even begin to guess. Skipper, this change was interesting. I'm gonna go recon it a bit later so I can better demonstrate it. E-leader still more damage to Rainmaker shield. Yeah, okay, well, I guess this weapon could do some other changes, but fair enough. Bamboozler, same change as Skipper. But Hydra was it's a real monster now. Like, it melts just everything. I believe now at low charge it deals 32 per pellet, so that's pretty insane. And just to check the numbers, so I'm not like fully off here. Just find it here. And full charge for the damage. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. What else can I say? It's Hydra. It really feels like a real monster now. And yeah, especially if the second kit is a bit better, then yeah, this weapon's gonna see a lot of play. But even now, like, it just melts people in close quarters and whatever. It's just, I guess, same changes that Minis Battling got, but you know, it's still like damage is what this game revolves around to. You know, it should be still a nice buff to Hydra, even if it's not like a game changer or anything. Ballpoint nerf was insignificant. Actually go through all of them. Tetra's. So okay, I should probably talk a bit about the Autobomb change, because that's affecting a lot of weapons suddenly. Autobomb was one of the weaker specials in the game. So with Tetras, they take now, I believe, 200 points to get splashdown. That's really smart, because if they didn't change that, they would be nothing but Tetras after the patch. But yeah, like, Autobomb change is a buff. And why that is that it's just so much cheaper to draw Autobomb now, even if it's tracks less time. Well, think about it. Against good players, they never let the Autobomb track them full time anyway, so that literally doesn't matter. And yeah, I guess the explosion radius or whatever is a bit smaller, but it's well worth the trade-off that you can get more out of your ink tank, basically. Like, I can throw an Autobomb and I still have a lot of ink to do my actual main weapon stuff, which is the stuff I actually want to do. So yeah, Autobomb is a buff, and it's gonna affect a lot of weapons positively, including Custom Blaster, even if the Custom Blaster got a nerf to special count. Yeah, and the special count nerfs were kinda insignificant, so that's why I kinda ignored them. Like, the most significant one was Tetras to 200 points from 170. Other than that, like, the Emperor is 190, okay, well, that's not gonna like do much to it, quite honestly. So I'm just gonna ignore them, but yeah, Autobomb buff. Okay, it's a buff. It's the same as Toxic Mist. Some of the abilities were nerfed, but then it became so cheaper that it's a buff. Like, it was the same thing with Toxic Mist, it's gonna be the same thing with Autobomb, it's gonna be a buff. So that's gonna affect a lot of weapons positively, for sure. For some reason they made Dualist Squelchers like take more ink to use. I honestly think this change is for Turf 4. I honestly think so. Because it makes no sense for competitive, but I think they also balancing the game around Turf 4, which makes sense. You know, there's a lot of people playing Turf 4 and they want a good gamer and they deserve a good game too. So I saw a lot of Dualist Squelchers when playing Turf 4. I think that's the answer to that. And Undercover Umbrella, maybe the last change we're gonna cover here before going to just sort of skipper real fast. Well, you know, again, giving a bit of a gimmick, like, it's not like, wow, now Undercover Umbrella is like, wow, this thing is insane now. But 1/6 is splashdown, or pretty respectable hit, really. And now the shield regenerates when you get an assist or kill. Like, okay, that's not like, wow, like Undercover Umbrella, wow. But it's like, okay, hey, if I wanna make this weapon work, then at least have something to do, like, it's not like something pathetic, like, you can literally have a Sploos rip off this weapon in like 1 second or something. But now, okay, at least it has some surprises up its sleeve, come on, like. It's at least has something. That's the whole point with this patch, like, so many weapons at least now have something, like, they're not in like live support and, you know, in the coffin or something. Now they have at least something, and I think that's what makes this patch really great. Of course, there's gonna be new stuff in the meta, and the missile thing is gonna be interesting, very interesting. But stuff like this, like, they are giving so many weapons at least something to cling on to, and of course setting the table for future patches as well. Like, the biggest thing I was missing was Eliter buff, but then again, this is the same as missile buff. If they do it in the wrong way, then rest in peace this game. It won't be fun to anyone except the Eliter mains. But hey, let's go check out Skipper, because this change is also one that's hard to demonstrate in the test range, but I do think it's an interesting one. And Pyramid Beat Remake is actually the perfect stage to demonstrate this. So basically what it does now is that you can charge when you're jumping or you are in midair. So just to give an example where it could be useful, you can full charge easily from here now. So, you know, that's the thing. Again, just giving some things for Skipper it has over some other weapons, right? And yeah, I can like enter this and I can full charge on the rail as well. Well, that's kind of like a pathetic attempt, so let's do it again. So yeah, it's not like I'm gonna be game Skipper main now, but you know, if you really like this weapon, then that's still, you know, something you have now. I think Bamboozler got the same buff, so that's actually quite nice. Gives you more options in close quarters, because you can, like, Skippers often jump a lot, because, you know, otherwise you just sit in dark for blasters and so on. So, you know, that's really nice. That's really nice. I think they understand the game. I think they're making smart changes, and you know, overall, really good job done with this patch. I'm really thinking that they are constantly improving with how to handle the game, and really makes me excited for the future of this game. And I can wait for the next patch and see what else they have planned. But yeah, I think that's this video. Thanks a bunch for watching. This should be my full thoughts on the patch. So for now, what's gonna happen next is I'm gonna go ahead and try the patch out, and maybe some opinions will change. But for now, I'm just trying out the changes. I'm really happy with how they went about it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Let me know what you think about the patch, and yeah, that's it.